Hey guys, so going forward, starting from this lesson, the things that we're going to cover are going to be more important and more difficult, so I'm going to keep the lecture shorter. So in this one, we're going to set up for practicing some complicated commands, okay? So first thing I want to show you guys is the shell script, okay? And the one that I regularly use for creating my Google virtual machines is this, okay? And all it is a bunch of bash commands. Don't worry about what they do right now, but this is what a shell script looks like, okay? And what I'm going to do with that is create a virtual machine. So the first shortcut that we're going to learn is Ctrl L, and when I say Ctrl L, it has the same effect as clear screen. Okay. And the way I use this, I'm going to use the usual VM that I use. Okay, this is going to take a bit, so I'm going to pause and come back. Alright guys, my machine is up. Once again, I'm going to do Ctrl L to clear the screen, okay? Not Control E, Control L. All right, now one of the things that we need for the next exercises, Jesus dog. So to execute a little more complex setup commands, we're gonna need a more complex set of files, which doesn't have to be anything meaningful. And a lot of people have these Git repositories, which are their code repositories, and the one that I'm going to download now is from AWS. So to do that, we need to install a software first, and the way you install a software on Debian, which is the Google default Linux, is sudo. We haven't talked about sudo yet, so apt is the command. Just type it as it shows on the screen and press enter. It'll ask you, are you okay with this installation? And I said I'm okay with this installation. Okay, now there is nothing in it. Now the next command that we need to use is this. So this is the actual command, Git Clone. But let's say I took this whole thing and pasted here. So if I execute it now, it's going to say no such file or directory. And let's say you found out right at the beginning, like right here in the middle of typing it, you can use Control A to get to the beginning of the line, okay, and then type Git Clone. Okay, and if you use Control E, you go to the end of the line. So Control A to get the beginning, Control E to the end of the line. Now, if you can see, I have typed Git close and not Git clone. So another command, I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. Okay, Control W also works, and which deletes the last word that you're on. Okay, so then I'm going to do Git clone and the repository name. Okay, so I will update the nodes, and I will also clone this repository now. And what it did was it copied this whole big repo. Okay, I also don't have tree installed here, so the same way I'm going to install sudo apt install tree. And now we have access to the tree command, okay? So it has a ton of directories, as you can see, ton of directories and ton of files. Now, to make things a little easier, I'm going to rename this directory to just AWS, okay? Don't worry about all the stuff that we covered in this chapter, except for the 5 shortcuts that we used, and I would have them here when I start the next lecture. So there are a lot of these shortcuts, but if you don't use them properly, they can be dangerous. So I found this web page that has quite complete set of these commands that you very frequently use. If you go look for tips, tricks for bash, people have randomly picked up 5 commands, 10 commands of this, but this is a pretty good collection if you want to start practicing on these commands right now and if you feel comfortable. But I'm going to assume everybody at the beginner level, but feel free to go ahead and practice these commands. One thing for the Mac users, the Alt key does not work. It needs to be set as a meta key, and it can be done, but it's unnecessary hassle. I mean, I'm too lazy to do it, but if you want to use this command, that's an option. Alright guys, that's all I wanted to cover in this chapter. See you in the next one.